Hello, my name is Edwina Archer and I'm the funding lead for Active Notts and Active Derbyshire, and this video is the first part of two videos focusing on Sport England Small Grants programme. The Sport England Small Grants Fund has three priority areas. So the first is projects that are working within the 30% most deprived neighbourhoods in the country. The second priority area is around developing skills in young people, and the third is around sustainable activity while reducing the impact on the environment. So that could include active travel projects based around walking. To start this video, we'll go through some of the key facts about the Sport England Small Grants Fund. So the fund's focus is on bringing communities together through sport and physical activity for people who may be less active. They might be doing a small amount of physical activity and your project might help them do more, or they may not be doing any physical activity at all. Grants are between £300 and £10,000. However, there is potential for awards up to £15,000 if your organisation's governance is strong, and we'll have a quick look at what that means a bit later on in this video. Projects can run for up to 12 months, and Sport England had advised that the closing date for this particular programme is the 30th of June 2023. Now, this fund has been around for a number of years now in various forms, so it'd be interesting to see what Sport England does next with this type of small grant funding. But at the moment, all we know is that this particular fund will close at the end of June. A wide variety of not-for-profit organisations can apply to this fund. However, you need to have a minimum of 3 unrelated non-cohabitating trustees or directors. You'll also need to be able to show that decision-making voting rights are equitably distributed. So, for example, if your organisation is a CIC or a similar type of incorporated not-for-profit company, you must show this through the Persons of Significant Control tab on Company House's website. If you're applying for over £10,000 up to £15,000, you'll need to be able to demonstrate stronger governance. So this means that your organisation will need to meet at least tier 1 of the Sport England governance codes. So if you Google this, it should come up high on your Google search for you to be able to check that. But also within the notes on Sport England's website about the Sport England Small Grants Fund, there should be a link within those notes for you to be able to click on and check as well if you're applying for over £10,000. I've listed on this slide the different types of organisations that can apply to this fund. So it's quite a wide variety of not-for-profit organisations. So it includes unregistered, voluntary and community organisations with a not-for-profit constitution. You'll also need to have a bank account in the same name as the organisation that's applying as well. Registered charities can also apply. Community interest companies, as I mentioned before, CICs, can also apply. Schools using their facilities for wider community benefit and where it's for extracurricular activity can also apply to this fund, and local authority bodies, including town, parish and community councils, can also apply. Unfortunately, there are a number of organisations that are ineligible to apply to this fund, and I've listed a few on this slide. So, for example, commercial for-profit organisations aren't able to apply. Also, organisations with less than 3 people or where decision-making is not equitably shared, as mentioned in the slide before, that those sort of organisations can't apply to this fund as well. Also, individuals and sole traders can't apply to the fund. As long as your project meets the aims of Sport England Small Grants Fund, you can apply for a wide range of costs. However, these should add value to what you're already doing. So this grant can fund coaching costs, which help to deliver activities for those less likely to be active, volunteer training for new and existing volunteers, service alterations, which help you to provide new ways of delivering your existing activity to attract new participants, new members. So this could include targeting new audiences through connecting other providers in your area. It could also fund additional equipment to, for example, help expand an activity or provide safer delivery of an activity. The grant can also fund minor facility alterations, which is great, as this allows for some small capital improvements which haven't been available through this fund before. So examples include adapting a community space to make it more accessible, refurbishing a space to enable sport and physical activity, or improving a space to make it more energy efficient. However, it's important that you have or you can provide evidence of the various permissions and consents, including landlord approval or confirmation that you don't require those particular consents or approvals. This grant programme can also fund an extremely varied range of sport and physical activities, including walking. If you have any doubts about whether your particular sport physical activity is included within this fund, if you Google Sport England's recognised sports, it should bring that up really high on your Google search list, and if you click into that, you can check the long list of whether your particular activity is included. However, there are things that this fund can't cover, which include general running costs or existing costs such as utility bills and staffing. Basically, this grant can't fund more of the same. It has to be new or additional activity. They won't fund replacement equipment or retrospective costs, which are costs incurred prior to an award, and they won't cover the costs of a bid writer. But to be honest, it's a relatively easy application form, which we'll look at in the second video. So if you can find a few hours, it could be time very well spent. Sport England want projects to begin within 6 weeks of an award unless you can explain why you need longer to prepare your project. They won't fund costs that benefit an individual, such as equipment that's not retained by the applicant organisation. They also won't fund membership fees. Activities have to be focused on people over the age of 5. 5-year-olds can be involved in a project, but only if adult family members are the focus of the work. Also, they won't fund costs that aren't the direct responsibility of the applicant. So an example of this is improvements to a facility not owned or leased by the applicant organisation. If your organisation is VAT registered and you can recover the VAT, then they'll want you to provide amounts net of VAT. If your project delivers a high risk sport, your coaches or the applicant organisation needs to be affiliated to the relevant national governing body. So in the list of recognised sports that's on Sport England's website, there's an asterisk against the sports that Sport England deem as higher risk. Also, this fund can't support football-only projects. This is because the Football Foundation is in receipt of funding from the same funding pot as Sport England. Therefore, projects focused only on football need to go via the Football Foundation. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned that Sport England is interested in projects that are focused on the 30% most deprived neighbourhoods. And within the information about the Small Grants Programme on Sport England's website, there is a link which you can click through to take you through to a postcode checker. You can also find that postcode checker by Googling indices of multiple deprivation postcode lookup tool, and it'll take you to basically the site that I've got a screenshot of on this slide. Now that will provide you information about a specific postcode, but sometimes if you're working within a wider area, unless you've got all the postcodes, it might be quite difficult to find and evidence kind of that you are working in an area of higher deprivation. And in the next video, I'll provide you with information about a tool that can help you provide that evidence. Sport England want to focus this fund on those who are the least active. They understand that some people who would benefit from this fund will live outside the 30% most deprived areas. Therefore, if your project is focused on people outside of these areas but is tackling inequalities, you can still apply. However, you really need to stress how your project will tackle inequalities. This brings us to the end of this video. If you think that the Sport England Small Grants Programme is right for your work, then head over to my second video, which goes through the application form and provides hints and tips to hopefully help you write a successful bid. It's short and straight to the point. If you'd like to ask me any questions about the content of this video or have any other funding queries relating to your work involving sport and physical activity within either Nottinghamshire or Derbyshire, my contact details are here. I've also included Sport England's contact details, so if you've got any queries regarding the fund that's not covered by the guidance, then they are very good at getting back with information to help you with your application. Thank you for watching. I hope you found that useful, and if you are interested, head over to my second video. Thank you.